live right now. This is going to be a rant. I'm using the YouTube mobile app, so guess what? There are no jump cuts. There's no background audio. There is nothing fancy that's going to be going on here. This is not a live super chat setup with the little thing here on the side and all of that jazz in the interface. This is nothing fancy. This is something that just about any of you can do. In fact, you don't need something like this. And where did I put my other phone? You don't need something like this. You don't need something like this if your whole thing is you want to make videos. Cool. You can do it. You want to write something, you want it to be on this bookshelf. Guess what? You don't even need a publishing company to say yes to you anymore. We're about to hit 2018. The reason I'm going off on this rant, and the reason that this matters to me, and the reason that I want all of you to share this in your social media, the reason that I want all of you to tweet this out, the reason that I want you to get attention for this video is I have a very clear and a very simple message, and I wanted to do it live because I didn't want it to have to be edited. I didn't want there to be a reason this doesn't come out. I didn't want people to whine or complain about, well, Roberto, you have all this fancy equipment. Of course it's easy for you to say that. I'm going to use a tool that the far majority of you all have in the form of your smartphone to get this point across. And right now, literally, I'm watching this. It's a few seconds in, and there's already over 140 of you watching this live right now in this moment, which means that you probably need this message anyway. And here's the thing. And where did I put that other phone? Because I was going to make a point about this, so I'm going to use it as a prop. But, I'm probably sure I have another phone over here I can grab. Fine. So, my point with all of this is that you can take something like this, that more or less the far majority of us, if you're not living in one of the worst places in the world where you have opportunity and you have access to be watching this and to be hearing my voice, the odds are that according to my data, 60% of you are watching this on a mobile device anyway, which means you have a content creation device. And this isn't limited to YouTube and to YouTubers and, the people who want easy AdSense revenue and they think that that's going to make them rich. This is for just about anybody. You could write the next great novel on this device if you had to, if you really wanted to. You absolutely can. You can write, you can do a podcast, you can get Anchor FM, you could do a podcast, you could break out, and that could start anything for you. You could become a public speaker as a result of that. You could be doing live streaming. You don't know how to edit because, Roberto, I'm not a Adobe master like you. Cool. There's free tools like Adobe Premiere Clip, iMovie, there's cheap stuff like Filmora Go. There's so many apps for under $5 that you could be using if you want edited and polished video with your smartphone. And will it be perfect? Will it be as good as the stuff that I pay hundreds of dollars for? No, but everyone starts at zero, and you got to do something if you want your life to actually change in a meaningful way going forward. And so that is part of my challenge to you. You want to be a writer? Write. You want to be a musician? Make music and do it. And I want everyone to stop this whining about I don't want to work for free, especially I will get into in a different video that will probably come out today or tomorrow on the YouTube demonetization stuff. But I'm going to remind you that all the kids from Vine that came to this platform were crushing it without AdSense as a freaking crutch, and they were working for free every day. Everybody on Instagram working for free every day and building a bunch of 6-figure and 7-figure brands and businesses and making deals and getting sponsors and getting flown all over the world. They're showing up and they're working for free every day. Boo-hoo. The people in Facebook hasn't helped creators make money, and there's people going viral in Facebook right now building their brand. It's so there's a lot of excuses being made for why people can't do something. Roberto, it's easy for you to say you do this full time. I don't do this full time. I make somebody's full-time living off of it, but the amount of time, the inordinate amount of time, partly again, I did build a system that I put into making content on YouTube or doing anything else you see me do in social media is the far minimum amount of my time, which the majority of it goes to the 100 plus students in Awesome Creator Academy, the people who hire me for one-on-one coaching calls, and then the clients who have me on retainer. That takes up the majority of my full time. Those of you working a 9 to 5, cool. I work a 10 to 12 to 18 more often than not. Congratulations. And I still find the hour that it takes to build content each and every day, because that's about what it would take. And if you just wanted to go live, unscripted, unrehearsed, unedited, you could do it in 5 to 10 to 15 minutes every day. And the smartphone is obviously good enough, and you could actually do this. There is no excuse. If you wanted to write an article, you can take out your smartphone, it has Microsoft Word on it, and you can write an article, and I'm pretty sure that you can do that in the time that you're in an Uber as a passenger. I'm pretty sure that you can do it while you're on a plane if you happen to be on a plane. I'm pretty sure that while you're waiting in line somewhere, you could be, writing the beginnings of something, and that if you wanted to, you could then take another 5 minutes, give it another pass, and then in 15 to 30 minutes, you could turn around some piece of content and distribute it, either on your own website or on medium.com, or you could post it in LinkedIn and possibly get some traction or get some leads or start to build up your influence. If you want to write the next great international best-selling novel, I've got advice for you. There are 365 days in the year. There are 365 days. You could take 30 minutes out of every one of those 365 days and probably produce 2 pages of something worthwhile, which means that by the end of the first half of the year, you would probably have a passable novel written, and you could spend the next 6 months figuring out the process of taking it to market. There is no reason that with 365 days a year at your disposal that you cannot make 365 moves that take 10 minutes to 30 minutes to accomplish. Everyone's saying they don't have the bloody time. They don't have the bloody time. I would challenge you, and I say this in all humility, but I'm tired of this excuse. Everyone says they don't have the time. They work a 9 to 5. I will bury all of you on work in a weekend. I will do it, and I will film it. I will probably live stream it before the end of this year if I can manage it with my travel schedule, or I will do it at the beginning of the year. I will do literally a weekend challenge, and I will basically produce 30 videos in a single day that are quality on a Saturday. I will sit there and kill an entire Sunday editing them, and then I will put them up unscheduled to YouTube and screenshot it for everybody who says they don't have the time. Okay? How about that? I will take an hour in an upcoming weekend, and I will write 5 articles in that hour to 2 hour block on a weekend that give me my one day a week, weekly post of articles for everyone who says they don't have the time to be a writer, because the excuse of why you haven't produced your first 50 to 100 articles as a writer is that you don't have the time and you're tired and you have all these reasons. And again, I'm not saying this to mock or to be dismissive of anyone that has a family, that has work, and has a lot of stuff to balance. What I'm saying is that it's not that you don't have the time, it's that it is not a big enough priority to you. It is not something that is urgent enough to you. It is not something you are so passionate about that's beating in your chest that you would fight in a ring to do it full time and get punched in the mouth. It does not clearly matter to you that much. Married with children, what should be more of a reason to push? Absolutely. I saw that in the live comment. I agree with you. If you have a family, if you are married, and you want to be able to have a future 5 years from now where you spend more time with your family, where you get to go to your kids' recital, where you get to go to your kids' dance rehearsal, where you get to spend more time with them in their developmental years, do you know how that's going to happen in the 5 years? Because what I guarantee you is not going to happen in the 5 years is I guarantee you that you are not going to make $10,000 extra a year because you want it or you deserve it, and your boss is not going to say yes to that. You know what's going to get you an extra $10,000 a year? I'm going to tell you. An execution that leads to $30 new every single day of the next 365 days, whatever that execution looks like, will give you a $10,000 a year increase in your net income, in your gross revenue. Okay? That will be you giving yourself a raise because you did the work to move into transition to something else. And I'm pretty sure this can accomplish it. I'm pretty sure of that for the far majority of you, that this would accomplish it. But guess what? Your boss is not going to give you a raise because you deserve it. Your boss probably won't even give you a raise because you've increased your value to the company. And if they do, it is not going to be the $10,000 a year extra that would begin to change your life. It's not going to be the $30,000 or $50,000 that you might need to put into the bank so that you could leave that job and do your thing full time. So that is the barrier. That is the issue. But guess what will do that? You know what will give you a raise? What will give you a raise is if you have one thing that you are really good at, that you're really passionate about, and maybe you either create content around that you can monetize, you create and build a brand that lets you sell that expertise, and let people find you to be credible. You build a career. Maybe you become a public speaker. Maybe you build a digital download around a skill that you have and you sell that. Recently, I built the YouTube starter kit, and that thing has done tremendous. Because it's a product that I can sell that used my skills as a graphic designer. Next thing I might launch might be the social media starter kit. That worked. Building my career as a public speaker. You know what? No one knew who I was 4 years ago. No one knew who I was 2 years ago. I put out free content on the internet to build my personal brand and to show people what I actually know and what I actually am capable of. And fancy that, it increased my clients, it increased my revenue, it increased my opportunities. Good things happened to me as a result of doing what? 1,000 videos that I made no upfront money from. Roberto, you get YouTube AdSense revenue. Hey guys, I close caption all my content and I do long form content. I start every single one of these YouTube videos at a $5 to $30 plus deficit. I literally start every single YouTube video that is monetized, that gets ad revenue from this channel in the hole. In the hole. There are a lot of creators that are upset about doing content on YouTube for free. The majority of those creators don't spend $600 to $800 a month on closed captioning for the hearing impaired, differently abled, and those who are internationals who read the English language but don't necessarily hear in the English language because I speak too bloody fast. So I start YouTube every single month, no matter what I make, at a $600 to $800 deficit, at a deficit of -5 to -30, or on longer videos, -$90 per video. So the excuses, the crying, out the window, gone. And I know that one's about me, but okay, cool. The biggest creators started with zero, and most of them were not truly profitable for the first 4 to 5 years of their career. Just like a brick and mortar business, they lost money on that upfront and other opportunities. Okay, so there is that. My friend Daniel here from Geekdom 101 is in the live stream right now. Many of you are not familiar with his channel. He has a channel that a lot of people would pick on because he's an adult dude who grew up in the same era as me, who loves Japanese animation and cartoons, and he talks about Dragon Ball. He has a passionate community, and he's making money hand over fist. There are people who are working a whole year to get the kind of money that Daniel makes in a month talking about what he loved. And if he had let bullying on the internet, if he had let people disrespecting him, if he had let people talking trash, if he had let all of the people from the corporate world talk him out of doing this and everything like that, he wouldn't be making, and Daniel, I'm not putting your business out there, but he wouldn't be making 5 figures a month, a good 5 figures a month, on saying and talking about things he loved, if he had let all of those things be an excuse for not executing. And again, Daniel doesn't even throw the money into production values that I did. It's like he's using free screen capture software to make content. You don't need fancy lights. You don't need all the fancy cameras. You don't. I just love those things, and I always did. But you can do this with your phone. I'm doing it live with my phone right now. Hundreds of you are watching this live. And guess what? It is enough to do good content. You don't need jump cuts. You don't necessarily need the editing. You need to show up. You need to show up. You need to create value. And it doesn't need to be YouTube. Screw YouTube, okay? Forget it. Don't even do it. Podcasting. There are so many people who have built 6- and 7-figure businesses, become public speakers, started doing their digital products or doing affiliate marketing or sponsorship with podcast. It is insane how accessible that is. It's all I do all day, in addition to while I'm working and jamming out to Lindsey Stirling, another person who showed up here on YouTube and created tremendous things because she loved it. A person who was told by Simon Cowell, no, it wasn't Simon Cowell, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan said that Lindsey Stirling would never make it, would never accomplish anything, that she needed to pick one thing, music or dance. And she proved him wrong, and she crushed it. Devin Supertramp, another creator here, like Casey Neistat. So many people that everyone said, oh, you can't do it. If they had listened to the rhetoric of the 99% of unhappy people who don't ever accomplish or do the thing that they want, if they had listened to everybody else, they would not be successful today. Okay? That's the thing. The era of gatekeepers are over. Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian, went directly to market. Like, the publishers went by his book. He had bestseller in Kindle and in iBooks. And then, Matt Damon ends up starring in the film. He sells the rights and everything like that. They had to come back crawling. Okay? There's no reason that you can't be a great writer. There's no reason that you can't be a great musician. There's no reason that you can't be a filmmaker. There is no reason other than the fact that you are not going to prioritize the 30 minutes to 1 hour a day to produce the content that you need to make, to begin to create a funnel for you to either build your personal brand or to build your business. I have no idea who said if you dream it, they will come. I have no idea who said that. Somebody's asking in the live. There's no, look, what I'm going to say to you is this. It's about to be 2018. You have 365 days in the beginning of the upcoming year, okay? Produce one thing. Create something awesome today. Produce one thing of value each and every day. You want to be a writer? Write a page a day. At the end of the year, you have the great American novel if you're an American, or the great international novel if you're whoever. Okay? Do you not have the 30 minutes? Because you're giving it to something. You're giving it to someone. And everyone's going to cry about working for free. You are going to today do something that will not change your life, that you're going to spend 30 minutes to an hour on, that will not change your life in any significant, meaningful way. And you're going to satisfy yourself with that because, you were doing it on your own terms instead of someone siphoning value from you. That's why a lot of you will refuse to ever, ever, ever work for free. Everything I did to build a six-figure business is predicated on the work that I did upfront for free. Because it wasn't working for free, it was working as an investment in myself, in my skills, and in my body of work. 6 years before YouTube ever existed, I was doing video editing in Premiere Pro every single week, and that gave me the skills that when YouTube came as an opportunity, something I could have never predicted, that I had an advantage. When I was 14 years old and I was doing graphic design and doing stuff on the internet for free in the days when no one believed in it, guess what? I was building and investing in the skills that would go on to give me a career in corporate America and later give me an advantage as an entrepreneur. It's so important for you to invest in yourself by doing your own work for free, working on yourself or working with people who will eventually be able to pass on. Do you realize how much money people pay to be able to have the knowledge or have access to people? Do you realize how important that is? Do you realize how important mentorship is? And the reason that you don't have a mentor is because the mentor that you want already has people in their friend group and in their network that if they're going to pay money, if they're going to pay tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, they are going to pay the person that is in their friend group that is reliable, and they're going to pay them. They don't know you from Adam. They don't know you from anybody off the street. And so what you would need to do is get their attention. And there's only a couple of ways to do that. One, you can talk about the thing that they're super excited about. But guess what? There's a lot of people doing that. So, okay, you could be complimentary to them. Compliments probably mean nothing to them because they get them every day as a successful person. So, what do you do now? The easiest way to get the attention of somebody successful is to give them upfront value with no strings attached and to make sure that there is more upside for them. And you can do that for almost anybody. You can absolutely do that for almost anybody. Joshua Pomeroy is an artist that I've commissioned that does the mini Robertos that you guys love so much. He did 3 pieces of artwork for me for free to get my attention. And because he loves what I've done and he loves my message, he did 3 pieces of art that he took time out of his day to do for free just to get my attention. And now, anytime I want a mini Roberto, I pay him. Okay? And it's because he was able to create value for me. So, that's how it works. So for everybody who's like, Roberto, I don't want to spend a year writing a book that no one will read. You don't know, but what if 100,000 people read it? What if it becomes a bestseller? You're not going to write a book that no one will read. Roberto, what's the point of spending all this time in my music if I can't get exposure and the industry is so saturated and everybody's doing my genre and everything? What if you win? What if you're the breakout? What if you have the sound that nobody, or what if, instead of worrying about being famous for your music, what if you make a crap ton of money just licensing it? Or what if you make a crap ton of money putting it available for free for download on YouTube for YouTubers, and you make a crap ton of AdSense? What about that? And what if you don't rely on AdSense and you make a product around your music so that people can get some of it for free and they pay for bundles for the rest? Because that's how I ended up giving hundreds of dollars to Matt Churn from Churn Beats, spelled with an E at the end of the N, like Churn, Cheane, churnbeats.com. I ended up giving Matthew Churn hundreds of dollars for the background music that I use because he's that good. But I was able to sample some stuff for free, and I would guarantee you that if Matt Churn had 10 free tracks on YouTube, more of you would be handing him money hand over fist for the paid stuff because it's that good. So again, there is no reason, whether it's YouTube, whether it's writing, whether it's podcasting, whether it's music, whether it's your digital arts, you want to be an animator, you want to be a great animator, you want to be a great cartoonist. Fred Gallagher, about what back, I want to say almost 15 years ago, wanted to do his own manga. He did this thing called megatokyo.com with his friend Rodney Caston for free, but put some ads up on his thing for years. Wasn't making any real money, did some merch, blew it up, got a huge community around it, was able to quit his job and make a living off of that, and it still essentially provides for his family to this day. He built a brand, and that was with a webcomic. He didn't even become an animator, and he ended up, Dark Horse ended up printing and publishing the first run of the comics, and then I think Tokyo Pop or somebody picked it up. I don't remember, but he did that 15 years ago in a much more primitive version of the internet. Okay, so whatever you think the reason or the excuse is for you not accomplishing your goals and your dreams, I'll tell you what the real answer is. It's that out of the 30 minutes a day you could spend on it, out of 365 days in a year, you're not prioritizing 30 minutes a day for that. You're taking an extra nap, you're watching a television program, you're watching YouTube videos of other people be successful. You aren't actually doing something. If I didn't make 1,000 videos, I wouldn't be where I am today. And a lot of you, the other thing you're doing is you're comparing yourself. So what if so-and-so did, you know how many of my friends and contemporaries are triple or bigger than me and did 100 videos, 200 videos, 300 videos? I'm not them. I had to do 10 times as much work. Boo-hoo. Oh, Roberto, I have to work twice as hard or 4 times as hard to get the same thing or half as much. Boo-hoo. I sit here and I grind and I wake up every day and I try to do work. I wake up by default trying to do 10 times more work than everybody else. By default. I'm going to say that, and I don't think it's arrogant or brag. I wake up every day because guess what? I don't think I have the raw talent or ability of other people do, so I just work 10 times harder than them. I just produce 10 times as much content. And if I could do 20, if I could go into Dragon Ball Z reference, if I could go into the hyperbolic time chamber tomorrow and just train for a year to be better, smarter, faster, stronger, I'd come out and I'd be happy to work 100 times harder than all of you. I'd be happy to do it. If I could literally stop sleeping, metabolize yellow sunlight like Superman, or do photosynthesis like a bloody plant, and not sleep ever again, and out-hustle all of you so that I could just spend for 5 years, 10 years, so I could spend the next 20 just enjoying the benefits of that, I would. I would do it tomorrow. I would make that deal with whatever deity tomorrow. Okay? So the reason, and here's the thing, and I'm not razzing any of you because guess what? I'm partly speaking to 20-year-old Roberto from over a decade ago, because if I could go back in time, punch myself in the face, and have this talk with my younger self, I would be 10 times more successful. And again, I'm not telling you not to sleep. I'm not telling you that you have to work yourself to death. I'm the advocate of the opposite of that, okay? What I'm talking about is the 30 minutes to an hour that I know you're spending on either watching a television program, playing a video game, or texting somebody. I would rather you invest that 30 minutes every day in a singular execution that you earnestly believe will begin to make a difference in your life based on a goal that you have. If your goal and your priority was that you want to write a best-selling book like Gary Vaynerchuk or like Lewis Howes, okay? If you want to do that, then you need to write every single day. Every single day, if you want to be a great best-selling author, you should write. If you're saying that you work a 9 to 5, then what about Saturday or Sunday? Saturday or Sunday, you have 8 to 10 hours you could invest in yourself. You could do that. But what you are doing, and no offense to anybody, what you're doing is on Sunday, I know, and you should if that's your faith and that's your thing. Sunday, you're spending a half hour prepping for church, if not an hour. You're spending 2 to 3 hours in church, and then you're spending a half hour to an hour after that coming home in transit, okay? And that's fine, and you should do that. I'm just pointing out that you made that a priority for 4 hours of that weekend. So why not on Saturday are you making 4 to 8 hours a priority on that? Because if your faith matters to you, and you say your entrepreneurship matters to you, why are you investing more hours a week in one thing that you set as a priority than the other thing that you say is a priority? Okay, that's real. That's real. So there is that. You might have a hobby, like a video game. I remember that before I was successful, I was spending 5 hours on my weekend playing Call of Duty. That 5 hours could have been monetized. That 5 hours could have been spent in the building of my business. And when it did become spent in the building of my business, guess what happened? I became successful. That is what happened. Okay? Roberto, I don't have time to make content. It's like, I have only spent the last 20-something minutes, which I only meant to be 5 or 10, doing this rant. And guess what? This is content. This is probably some of my best content, to be frank. And I would have had to have spent this same amount of time just editing this video and cutting it down and getting rid of ums and fixing the audio and adding background music and fancy titling if I were going to go through that process. Some of you, in addition to comparing yourself to other people's finish line, are also just being too fancy. Just do something. Just get started. Watch my old videos. My old videos? Crap as far as production values. Crap as far as editing. Not that good, but it was something. And now, today, if I were getting started, but it's so hard to get started right now. It's so hard to get, like, smartphone quality, infinitely better. This video quality is better than my first 20 videos on YouTube. The quality of this video, both in video and in audio, is better than my first 20 videos on YouTube. It is easier to make content than it has ever been. Saturation, I can't compete. Wrong mentality. You're not competing, but even if you are, the answer is not that your stuff is not good quality or that you can't compete or get attention. The problem is that you're spending 5 minutes on the thumbnail. Like, that's just the truth if it's a YouTuber problem, right? So, again, there's no reason that you cannot start something. There's no reason that you cannot be successful. I refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept that when I see it happening every day. Peter McKinnon had a 0 audience a year ago. Peter McKinnon has a gold play button. Something I don't even have. All I got's a silver. And I say that pejoratively. That's what I got. You know what? It's like, here's the real problem. The real problem is too many of you, far too many of you, want this. Too many of you want this instead of this. Too many of you want this instead of to do this. Okay? Too many of you want this. You want acknowledgement. You want acclaim. You want attention instead of doing this, which produces that. Right? So, my advice to anybody, if you're still hanging in there, because I'm about to end this rant, my advice to any of you is that stop looking for motivation. Stop looking for encouragement. Stop looking for acknowledgement. And I'm not saying those things aren't important. I'm saying enough is enough. What is it going to take for real? For real, what is it going to take to make you show up every day for yourself? For yourself. What is it that's going to have to, because the thing is, my issue is I believe that all of you are waiting for something to happen in your life. You're waiting for somebody to rescue you. You're waiting for somebody to pat you on the head. You're waiting for something in your life to change so that you then feel like it's worth putting in the work. And I'm concerned because it's not going to happen for the far majority of you. There is no circumstance through divine intervention, the people in your life taking some kind of mercy on you, somebody wish fulfilling for you. There is no real chance, statistically speaking, that that is going to happen. You are not going to have Oberyn Martell come down into the dungeon that might be your current circumstances and say, Tyrion, I will be your champion. You are going to have to be your own champion. You are going to have to be a gladiator in your own life, and you're going to have to show up in the arena and fight every day for the life that you want. I truly believe that 110% in my heart of hearts, that that is the only real answer. And I don't know what it takes to make you do it. I don't know what it takes to make you fight for the life that you want. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't want it to be for you that you have to hit emotional rock bottom. I don't want it to be for you that you're ready to give up on your life and then there's the 50-50 shot that you decide not to. Okay? I do not want that for you. I want you right now, if you're still watching this, and hundreds of you are, because I see the live count and I see some of the live comments here. What I want for you, more than anything, is I want for you to make a commitment right this instant, that you are not going to let 2018 pass without being an advocate in your own life, without being your own champion, and that you are going to spend at least 100 of the next 365 days of 2018 executing on actually building the life that you want, accomplishing some meaningful goal in your life for what you want to be. And I would encourage you to ignore your haters, to ignore things like followers and likes and views and subs and pats on the head and monetization, and to just build a freaking body of work of 100 results that proudly proclaim that you exist. Please, for the love of God, stop worrying about the external factors in the world. The world doesn't give a crap until you make them give a crap. Show your work. Do the work, show the work, create value, show that value, raise and elevate that value. You don't like being paid $10 or $12 or $20 an hour? Cool. Show up and prove to somebody that you're worth $200 an hour and take that money and make it worth every penny. Make it a steal. Okay? Make someone beat down your door for the opportunity to hand you $500 for an hour of your time if you don't like making minimum wage. What are you going to change? The world isn't going to change. The world isn't going to decide that, oh, gee, we feel bad for you, Johnny. We're going to give you $20 an hour. The world ain't going to do that. The market's not going to do that. But if you decide that you're going to raise and elevate your value to where my price is my price, and you create the leverage for that, then guess what? The market will respond, and the people who can afford it will pay it, and the people who want to haggle with you, you'll tell them, my price is my price, get on my waiting list, or go find somebody else. That's real. Okay? That's real. And I don't know what it takes. I don't know how much content I have to make. I don't know how many times I have to rant. I don't know what else to do to get you in the game. I don't know. I don't know what it takes. I don't know what else I have to bloody do to get you to believe that you are capable of changing your own life. I don't know what other tool, what other resource, what other free information, what other content, what other guest I have to bring on to tell you if you don't want to hear it from me. I don't know if I have to run the gamut of going into every country in the world and getting someone who looks like you and sounds like you to say it before you believe it, if that's your barrier. I don't know if I have to go and hunt down someone from every bloody niche in this platform to spell it out for you in the terms that you care about the most for you to do it. I don't know anymore. I just don't know what I have to do to make you decide that you're worth investing an hour a day into. I don't know. I don't know how to make you prioritize yourself. I don't know how to make you give yourself that shot. I don't know anymore. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to make you stop giving up on yourself. I have no freaking idea. If someone knows, bloody mentor me in how to get people to give a crap about themselves again. Please. Because 1,000 videos in, I still am seeing comments, and I want people to be honest about their anxiety. I want people to be honest about their thing. But I'm seeing so many people that I don't know how much more encouragement they need. I don't know how much more incentive they need. I don't know how much more dissatisfaction with their life they need to take this seriously and to do something. Something. Anything. I don't know. What's it gonna take? I have no idea. I'm at a loss. I don't know. Again, I didn't think this was going to go here like this. I didn't know I was going to get this excited about, I didn't know I was going to get this frustrated. I don't know. But it really, literally pains me to think about, like, for me, I had to want to kill myself before I changed my life. I don't want that for people. I don't want people to have to feel that before they decide to actually do something. I don't know. I don't know how many more motivational speeches, motivational memes. I don't know how many more, I don't know. I don't know what it takes to make people understand that this is real. That the time that, do you realize how fortunate we are that right now, this didn't exist years ago. I could not be speaking to hundreds of you live, probably thousands of you in the replay. I couldn't do this years ago, let alone do it from a phone. That's an opportunity, and all I see is the pessimism and the cynicism and the complaining and the angst when we're living literally in the golden age of opportunity. And if you're born in America right now and you're crying, I don't know what to say to you. Like, I mean, the technology is so accessible. It's so affordable. It's so affordable. I mean, I could have mowed lawns and gotten $60 and bought a webcam, the webcam that I do my live streams with normally and everything like that. You could pay a monthly fee on the best smartphones right now, and they have so many good ones. T-Mobile has a flagship phone that they've done that has all the bells and whistles, and it's like $200. Again, I could have made that as a kid mowing lawns. I mean, there's so much, and there's so much open source software. There's so much free things. There's free information. You could get a college level education in terms of developing a skill on the internet. I'm doing hundreds of these tutorials to just give you a skill that I paid a college to learn a lot of the times, and I still had to learn it on my own and buy all these books, and I'm trying to give you that for free. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for aside from somebody for free coming to your house every day and mentoring you, and that's not practical, but the next best thing is these videos. I just don't know what else you are waiting for. I don't know what, like, can someone explain it to me? I don't know what people are waiting for. You have technology in the palm of your hand that can allow you to create anything, that can allow you to create in all the media formats. Photo, quality photos that could be on billboards, video, written, audio, ebooks, podcast, YouTube videos, live streaming. It's all literally in the palm of your hand. You have access to things that would allow you to monetize it between ad revenue, affiliate revenue. There are sponsorship platforms. There are all these things. And I don't know I don't know, because the barrier isn't technology, so it's not that you don't have the tools. They're accessible, they're affordable for the far majority of you, right? So that's not the bottleneck. The platforms exist for distribution, so there's that. Talent, if you have it, or if you're passionate enough, will let you build an audience. There's that. It takes time, but it's not that much time. Skill-wise, the skills can be learned. They're available for free now in a way they weren't a decade ago, 2 decades ago. So I don't know what the real barrier is besides that I don't know if it's that you don't believe in the new world. Some of you may not believe in the new world and believe in this technology. I keep doing tech videos to show you what's possible and what the tools are and what they could do for you, right? So there's that. The motivation stuff, I do the vlogs to show you that I'm a real human being and I have the same mental angst as anybody else. I have ADHD. I've suffered with depression and anxiety, and even though it looks like I'm very charismatic on camera, you keep forgetting I'm an introvert. I do this from the safety of my home office, right? When I'm on stage, I'm giving value, so I don't have to worry about the other aspect of that, but I still get butterflies and stuff before I go on stage, right? So I don't know what more I have to do from the motivation standpoint, from the example standpoint, to make you guys believe that these things are attainable and possible. I've done almost everything I can, legally speaking, to reveal my process and hold nothing back as far as, well, how do you do this, or how do you make money, or how do you make a living? I can't tell you how many times I've talked about it. I don't know what else could be the barrier for some of you, because the tools are there. The technology is practical. This stuff is scalable. I'm trying to motivate you through positive, but practical positivity. There are people bigger and better than me doing a much greater job of that you could look to. And then the process is available. It is literally there. So again, I just don't know what it takes anymore. I just don't know what's gonna be necessary for you to make next year your year. I don't know. Do I need to make another 1,000 videos? Is that it? Before some of you do this for real, before you take it seriously? Is that what it's gonna be? Or is it not in, do you guys, are people not believing or not serious because I have a silver play button and not a gold play button? Is that what it takes? Do I have to grind to 1 million subscribers and do that before any of you decide that this is real, or that it can be taken seriously, or that the advice is based in something practical? Is that it? I mean, you got people like Pat Flynn and John Lee Dumas. They've done a great job. They've given up their privacy to show you their income reports and the breakdown of how they make their money. I'm not going to do that. But there are so many people that are successful on the passion that they have and the thing that they love, that went from sleeping on couches or being at their parents' house to building the lives that they want. And it's entirely possible that you're capable of doing that. And I don't know why you don't believe that. And I don't know that I have the capacity to make you believe it. I just don't know. I don't know what makes you make a difference in your life. I'm hoping that for some of you, if you've been lurking on my content, if you've been watching thus far, I'm hoping that this video does it for you. I'm hoping that this video is the thing that makes you take this seriously. I'm hoping that this rant triggers you into taking action in your own life, makes you your own champion, makes you get in the game, makes you take this seriously. And I'm hoping that when you give up, when you think about giving up, when you're at that low point where you're doubting your ability to actually accomplish something, that maybe you watch this in the replay, and maybe that reminds you that there's someone who wants you to do it. There's somebody that's rooting for you. There's someone who's trying to enable and empower you to do it. There's someone who's trying to give you everything they can. And it's just my hope that I get to do it for as long as possible. So I don't know. like I saw a comment that triggers me right like now. I know it's a joke, but it's like, oh, the internet destroyed our brains. It's like the internet is the greatest invention, like since the printing press. It's the greatest invention since the written word, since the printing press, since broadcast television connected us and allowed us to share stories. Like the internet has fundamentally changed our lives. There's no going back, and you can use that right now to your advantage. I have a message for those of you who say you're in small towns. For those of you who are in small towns, I grew up in small towns, usually military towns. My dad was a Marine. I'm moving right now. I'm in the process of moving. The place is a little bit of a mess because of that, aside from the very nice bookshelf and the desk over there. But like, other than that, I've got everything in boxes. And you know what? I live in a small town right now, and 99.9% of my business is all over the world because of the internet, because the reality is that there's nobody in the town that I'm in right now that can mostly afford to hire me, or they don't believe in the things that I'm doing, or that create value for their business. So guess what? None of my clients are local. And when I was a freelance graphic designer, guess what? Almost none of my clients were local for the same reason. So I built my website before the YouTube thing as a freelancer, as a graphic designer and creative director, and guess what? I ended up even getting my job in New York because of that, working for an agency, because I was discoverable. So the internet is the answer. The internet can help you, and that's a real thing, and it gives you access. If you're in a small town where people don't believe in what you're doing and the culture doesn't fit, cool. Guess what? You have access to the global marketplace. You have access to the global marketplace. You don't live in a town. You don't live in a country. You live on the planet Earth, and you have access to the 7.8 billion people on this planet, or more accurately, you have access to the, 2.4 billion of people on the internet. How much market share do you need to be successful? I have no respect, like the people with this globalism conspiracy, and I don't like politics at all, but it's like I literally kind of want to punch those people in the mouth because they're crying about something called globalism, when to me, the fact that all of you can sell in all 6 populated continents in the world should be a golden opportunity for you to rake in money, hand over fist, and you should love that you don't have to fly halfway across the world to take money from someone halfway across the world by giving them value. So anyone crying about globalism, I think you're probably just a loser, because I don't worry about I cash in on what's happening in real time. YouTube demonetizes everything tomorrow. Cool. I'll go to 2 videos a day, and I'll incorporate more of my own products and services in there, because why not throw my own ads in there? And I will make exponentially more money with my own products and services, like I already do, than YouTube ad revenue. Why? And I could sell to a global marketplace like I already do and get customers in the UK and Asia, as well as all of North America and Canada like I already do. Take advantage of the fact that you can create a product or service. You can create merchandise and sell it like a God church like the Paul brothers. You can make beautiful music and like majestic sounds here on YouTube, or no copyright sounds, put some of it available for free, rake in ad revenue as long as it's not demonetized, and sell the downloads of the other bundles and make a crap ton of money. You could put out stuff over and over again and attract sponsors. Marques Brownlee did MKBHD, one of the biggest tech YouTubers. He did 78 videos to get his first 100 subscribers on this platform in the early days, when all of you say this was so much easier, when it was so freaking easy, right? Oh, I should have joined YouTube back in 2006, 2007, right? Okay, and Marques, he did 100 videos, gets his first 78 videos or 100 videos to get his first 100 subscribers or whatever, right? 100 executions for free, was making no money, was not a YouTube partner back then, reviewed his mom's laptop as his first video, didn't have tech sponsors, and now any tech company in the world will send him whatever. He has more influence over technology than the New York Times. He was able to pay for college if he wanted to, but I think he got a scholarship. But if he wanted to, he could have paid for college cash off of that opportunity, and it meant showing up and doing 100 executions on YouTube for free just to get his first 100 subscribers. And I see a lot of you crying and quitting after doing 10 videos or 30 videos and not getting the attention you want. So there's that aspect of it. There's so many people, friends of mine, who have told me they want to be writers, they want to be writers, they want to be writers, they want to be writers. And the reason that they're not adorning my bookshelf is because they refuse to write. They refuse to write. Because if they actually wrote, there's no barrier. There's no barrier. Kindle and iBooks will let you write, put it on this, and I can buy it tomorrow. Gary Vee's pre-selling his book, Crushing It. I've bought 3 copies for myself personally, 10 copies to give away, and God knows how many more copies I'll buy by the time it releases in January. You can't buy a book that someone didn't write. You can't buy a book that someone didn't write. You want to be a writer? Write. You want to be an artist? You want to be an animator? Monty Ohm, God rest his soul. Monty Ohm didn't even live to be 30, I believe. And it's a tragedy because he was ridiculously talented. But before he died, he got to animate his own series and see 3 seasons of it, I think, produced by Rooster Teeth. You know who Rooster Teeth is? Rooster Teeth is one of the biggest internet media companies in existence. And it was started by 2 guys who were messing around modding their stuff on Xbox and uploading it to the internet. Wow. That's something that actually happened. Now, they produce original animation and shorts and skits and make millions of dollars and are an internationally recognized brand. Actually doing something is actually doing something. You want life to change? Your life is not going to change until you do. And so, I don't know what it takes to make you do that. I hope it's not emotional rock bottom. It's, whatever. Someone just asked a question about LinkedIn, how they use LinkedIn to, all right, we'll do 10 minutes of Q&A. We'll do 10 minutes of Q&A. You guys want to do super chat Q&A real quick? I'll do it. I'll do it right now. So a gentleman just asked about how to sell products and services on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has this new thing called LinkedIn Video that almost no one is taking advantage of. And that as a business person, if you did a 10-minute video or less that is produced and maybe is edited, and you could do it all with your phone or whatever, or even just do a simple video in your niche, and you did that every day, you took 5 minutes every day, filmed with your phone, and gave something that shows you to be an expert, you will blow up in LinkedIn right now because no one's doing video because everyone's scared. LinkedIn has video now, everyone's scared to use it, and they could do that. I'm going to triple down on LinkedIn Video. I'm going to have someone chop up all my speaking engagements beyond what they already have, and then I'll have, because I've done what? God knows, 40 stage talks that I must have filmed by now. I can chop those up, have 400 videos, and for the next year, in 2018, I can show myself on stage every day in LinkedIn. No, LinkedIn Video is not monetized. Literally, I almost now, I don't mean this, but I halfway do. I'm 50-50 on this. I almost wish YouTube ad revenue would disappear forever. I almost wish all videos across the platform demonetized forever. I almost wish that now. 50-50. I kind of don't mean it because I get it and I do and I love it and I like the extra. I like the extra $35K a year in ad revenue. Okay, I dig it. Okay, but it's a crutch for so many people. For some people, it's their leg up, and for some people, it's how they make their living. And I get all that, and so I'm sensitive to those people. And that's the 50% of me that doesn't want it to go away. But the other 50% knows that would weed out people who want something to be easy and want something to be super passive and don't want to focus on building a real brand and real value and are only in it for the money or are only attracted to it because of the money and not on the substantive value. And the reality is, if you were told that you could broadcast on television, because everyone will cry about working for free, if you were told, hey, we're going to give you a video production studio access for an hour any day that you wanted, but no salary, but you can be on network cable television and your ratings are your ratings. We're just going to give you airtime. If you got free airtime with the local cable station and you could walk in every day and throw an hour at that, here's the reality. You would. No one's going to say, no, I don't want cable airtime, or nobody's watching me, or I don't know how many people are watching me, because you would not be able to see your ratings. So you'd take the airtime because you'd realize that you could brag about that and that you could show a body of your work and that you could put that out there and you could make your name mean something. So you'd take the airtime. So, I mean, that's what it is to be. The people who crush it on podcasts, they don't get ad revenue for the most part. So, I mean, that's what I would say about it. Like, I mean, even if I couldn't monetize it, but I could put out 20 episodes of a show and have it in Apple TV, I'd take that deal tomorrow. Apple, you want to sign me up? I'll produce the whole thing myself and give it to you, and you could put 10, 20 episodes on Apple TV. I won't even take any money. I don't care. Because then I'm in Apple TV. And then my name matters. So, again, that's, like, so again, like, I hope I answered the LinkedIn guy's question. I know I got into a tangent, like, but, I mean, that's just the truth. That's how adamant I am about this idea that people need to do something. Do people read blogs anymore? Yeah. The people read blogs who like to read. There are people who buy ebooks and buy print books because they like to read. But not everyone likes to read. Some people like to listen, so they get audiobooks. Some people like to listen, so they do podcasts. Some people need to see people's mannerisms and people's nature and their character, so they like recorded video. Some people like to know that people are authentic and real, so they like live videos. Okay? So the reality is, and that some people need diagrams and like infographics, or they like photos and they like photo stories. So, it's based on, are you willing to do the work to reach people in the way that they can accept and that they can take value from? So, are you willing to do that extra work? Some people, it doesn't play to their strengths. Are you willing to figure that out? Are you willing to outsource? Are you willing to partner on it? Or are you going to just triple down on the thing that you absolutely crush it at, which is fine as well. Not everyone needs to go that diverse, but you do need some platform diversity and some medium diversity, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. It's predicated on my experience. I saw a comment, and it might be somebody just joking. Someone said, well, I'm lazy. My answer to that is, if you're lazy, harsh truth, if you're lazy, never complain about your life ever again, because I'm not interested. If you're lazy and then you complain, I'm not interested. I'm just not. If you complain and you say, well, I work hard enough already, Roberto, my answer to you is then up your efficiency, because if you're working hard and not working efficiently, that's the problem. So I would say be efficient. You don't have the hours in the day? Cool. You don't have the hours in the day. Then use the hours in the weekend, or figure it out, or get really skilled. I'm ridiculously impatient. That's why I'm good at things. I'm good at things because I'm impatient. I'm good at things because my ADHD forces me to get as fast at it as I possibly can, and I scale off of that. I take something that would be used against me, would be a way to dismiss me, a way to punish me for not being focused enough, and I use it as a superpower to outperform people. I take a weakness, I turn it into a strength. So that's a real thing. Some people say, well, I need an A, B, C, D, E, F, G through Z breakdown step by step of how to do something. I'll tell you a secret. That is the failing of when you have to get free content. Nobody can know where you're starting out in the process. Nobody who makes content online, including me, can know your individual strengths, your individual weaknesses, your niche, what resources are on your disposal, because we are not there with you and we do not have access to you. That is something for which we would have to have some kind of access to you or be right there with you, which is why there is still some value to a master and apprentice relationship, personal training, personal coaching, or even, God forbid, traditional education, because it's somebody that is present with you in real time that can hear you out with regard to what your actual strengths or weaknesses are that are unique to you, what resources you have available to you in your hands, what your environment is, and no one who's making content for the mass majority of people can figure that out in context to your specific situation, which is the failing of online content that is available for free, which is why it's a great starting point in a lot of cases and for some of those who are self-disciplined, but is not a substitute for hands-on training or consulting or coaching or going to a workshop or going to a conference or having someone hold your hand and walk you through it. And you cannot expect people to do that for free. Just because you need it doesn't mean that you can have that expectation, which is why doing what you can on your own with that freely available information, whether it's content on YouTube or a podcast or a book, is important. Doing everything you can on your own is important. Getting some traction, making some money, so that then when you need to go a step up because you can't get any further on your own and you need someone to hold your hand through it, you have to do what it takes to be able to do that and to afford it, because it's not their problem that you can't afford it. No one is beholden to your needs. And so you have to put yourself in a position to be your own champion. You have to put yourself in a position to where you are as educated as you can be on your own, to where you are as skillful as you can be on your own, to where you are working as hard as you have the capacity to do, and to where you are working as efficiently as you know how to do. And then, and only then, is it practical to ask for someone else of their time, and you have to do it when you make that ask of someone else of their time. It has to be on their terms and not yours. And that is just the truth of it. No one, no matter how well-intentioned, is beholden to what your needs or what your lack is and to fulfill that out of their abundance. They're just not. And so, whatever leverage you have to create to access people who have the knowledge, the resources, the connections, or the money that you want, you have to figure that out. Someone asked, do you think it's still possible to make a living off of YouTube ads only in 2018? I think that I'm going to say something really harsh and really unpopular that will not be liked. Anyone who wants to, in 2018, make a living off of YouTube ad revenue in 2018 solely and no other diversified revenue is a freaking idiot and a moron, and whatever happens to them happens to them. Anyone who wants to make their living off of YouTube ad revenue alone in 2018 is a freaking idiot. There, I said it. Unfiltered, unscripted. Let the memes ride. Chop up that video and take it out of context to your heart's content. I will replay the entire thing or the proper snippet for you. Here is the reason. You're waiting essentially to get fired if you do that, because the rules can change on you in an instant. The reason I want so many of you to build your own thing and to diversify is because you are one jerk away deciding to destroy your life and your job is over and you're blackballed from your industry, and you're done. So if that's what's going to happen at a 9 to 5, where someone decides you're too old, or they don't like you, and they're not interested that you have 3 kids to feed, then guess what? Deciding that you're going to live off of AdSense is just as stupid and impractical when the platform can change a rule like that, where the culture of YouTube could change like that, where your fickle audience could abandon you like that if they don't like something you do or say. Why so hostile? Because people are freaking stupid. Wizard's first rule: people are stupid. People will believe anything because they believe it's true, they want it to be true desperately, or they're afraid that it actually is. Great book by Terry Goodkind, Wizard's First Rule, right? One of my favorite fantasy novels. And so I'm so hostile because I want people to actually... I'm so hostile because I'm angry and I'm offended on the behalf of everybody who's been lied to and fed a narrative by society that is conditioning them to lose. That's why so hostile. I'm so hostile because if I could literally take all the falsehoods and narratives of this society and bundle them up for you and burn them in the light of day, the problem is that 80% of things you know and believe to be true would immediately be dead. And your brain would be this chasm that is like no longer filled with all this nonsense, and the echoes would be really loud, and you'd be like, wow, there's so much garbage that was taking up space in my head because people are full of crap, because people have lied to you. Because people have lied to you. And again, it's not politics, and it's not red pill. It's like, it's really, really straightforward and simple. It's really straightforward and simple. It's beyond that. It's the simple fact that the majority of people that you know in your life right now, you probably would have a hard time using both hands to count the number of people who are genuinely happy. The people who are genuinely happy. Because here's the thing. The majority of people giving you advice are not living life on their own terms. The majority of people in your life right now that are giving you relationship advice are not in happy marriages or happy long-term relationships of any kind. The people giving you advice about finances do not have $10,000 in the bank, because the 80% of Americans don't have $10,000 in savings. I think 40% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings. I believe their last estimate was 60% have nothing in a retirement account, and the far majority of people have no investments, okay? So when you decide to do the popular thing, when you decide to, when you decide to do the popular thing, when you decide to listen to the majority, when you decide to listen to most of the people or the 5 people that you know, and the 5 people you know are not any better off than you, you're trapped. You are trapped because there is a lack of information. There's gaps in those people's knowledge that cannot help you because they don't know any better. Your parents, the generation and the era and the time and the rules that made your parents successful will not make you successful. And do you know why? Because the opportunities are different. The landscape is different. The entire market is different. And you aren't them. You might have X amount of their DNA, but you're not them. Okay? So that's important. For people to sit there and to have a commentary about the world when they've never left their own state, or when the last time they took a plane somewhere was 5 years ago, is absurd. And there are people who are going to try to tell you how the world works when they haven't experienced any of it outside of their own backyard. Okay? And there are people who are going to try to sell you on their beliefs and their ideology instead of just empower you to do your best as an individual human. They all want you on their team, and I want every single one of you to go out into the wilderness on your own and be your own gladiator. You were born in this world alone. You're probably going to die in this world alone, and so what the hell does it matter what team you're on? The team probably isn't coming to your funeral. The team probably is taking actions every day that move you one step closer to that grave in the first place. Whatever team you're on, left, right, yellow, blue, purple, indigo, violet, the majority of those people on that team, I guarantee you that they don't have your individual best interest at heart, and they are going to do what lets the team win instead of let you achieve your maximum 110% potential, which is why I am a loner, which is why I have social anxiety, which is why sometimes I'm antisocial, which is why I say things that the far majority of you probably won't like, which is why I am socially awkward, which is why I was not popular in high school, because I learned a very interesting thing. The team comes at the expense of the individual, and so I would rather, and why I'm excited about artificial intelligence, by the way, is I want every single one of you to maximize your individual potential and screw the team. I want every single one of you to maximize your individual. You don't have to be on my team. You don't have to be on Team Awesome. It's cool. Build your own freaking team if you want. Be your own team. Be the entire team. Be the entire team. Do it. It's real. So, that's just what, again, it's my opinion, bro, right? But it's what I lived. It's why I lived. It's why, again, the rants are basically a brain dump. And again, it's for the point of, I want you to put skin in the game. I want you to actually do something about your life. I want you to realize that 90% of the chatter doesn't matter, right? 90% of what people are telling you, 90%, because what are they doing for you? What are they doing for you? Here's what I'm going to do for you right now. I'm going to do something no one's ever done for you in your entire life. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell every single one of you how to build a six-figure business. I'm gonna cut this off because my phone battery is about to die. So I'm gonna do it in less than 5 minutes. I'm gonna tell every single one of you how to build a six-figure business before the stream dies on its own, right? So here's how you build a six-figure business. Building a six-figure business means that you would have to have a value proposition of some kind that is worth at least $1,000, which means you have to elevate yourself as an individual to being able to produce a net result that at least is worth $1,000. Why $1,000? Because 100 executions of $1,000 outcome gives you the possibility to make $100,000, which is what we call a six-figure business. Now, you could go beyond that $1,000 marker. You'd have to have a $5,000 price point to make it even more practical. And that sounds absurd to you because you're not thinking about the highest levels, the bottom of the top of the market, the bottom of the top of the middle of the market, right? Because what you may not realize is that for someone to make a custom Snapchat geo filter for a brand is a $5,000 to $10,000 net result that a brand pays for. What you don't realize, because I worked at an ad agency and maybe you didn't, is that for a caricature drawing, not even the thing that a graphic designer is going to take into Photoshop yet, just a caricature illustration of a public figure has a value proposition of $2,000 to $5,000 to an ad agency, and they will pay that. So you have to identify a market that's capable of supporting the price point of facilitating a six-figure business. Good consultants can do retainers, monthly retainers of $5,000 to a business, and that's a $5,000 client on retainer to do X amount of work or X amount of hours, either as client services or even as consulting. So that means that each individual client at that $5,000 value proposition is if you do them on retainer and it's a 6-month retainer, not even a yearly retainer, that's a $30,000 client. So guess what? 4 6-month retainers put you over the top on that because that's $120,000 in top line gross revenue. Now, doing a six-figure business at $120,000 a year doesn't mean that that's going into your pockets. Obviously, you have your cost of living, you have your overhead, you have your services that you pay out to, and of course, you have your taxes, which means that not everyone who makes that is going to be rich and famous, okay? But I'm explaining to you that if you don't raise your internal value to be able to deliver a net result that has the highest price point to a market that can afford it, that's the answer. Too many of you are playing it safe and you're worried about getting $20 or $30 an hour because for you that sounds like a good deal, but you're still trading time for money instead of trading a result for money. Moving to a productized model or a service-oriented model with a specific value proposition means that you can get wildly efficient at producing that result over time, because the more you do that result with that price point, the more efficient you get, which means the less time to produce that result, which means your hourly rate actually goes up dramatically, okay? So again, this is the foundation of how you do that and how you begin to build something for yourself. I can't tell you what skill you have that's worth $1,000 to $5,000. I can't tell you what product you have it in you to produce that is worth that. I can't tell you what $100 product you have that you could get, so many people 1,000 people to buy, because maybe it's that you'd have to do a $100 product and do it and sell 1,000 of them. I don't know what that looks like for you, but I know that that math measures up. But what can you produce that has that value, right? Okay, I mean, in my case, I made this thing, the YouTube starter kit, on my awesomecreatoracademy.com website for 99 bucks, and I put like a bunch of downloads in it that people can get. If I sold that 1,000 times, then you do the math, okay? But if I did a service, like I do with my coaching and consulting, how many times do I have to sell that? How much time is that? So again, you either figure out a product model, or you figure out a service model, or you figure out a combination of both. You build out your product line, you build out your services available, you charge the maximum amount that you can, you identify and qualify the market for that, and by the way, you have to actually deliver, and by the way, you have to actually position your brand for people to believe that you're worth that much. So guess what? That is literally, I just laid out for you what you need to know. And if you want something more granular than that, there's a book you should get. You should get this book by Peter Vogt. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 6 Months to Six Figures. You can get this book, and he'll break it down more granularly. I recommend the audiobook. The audiobook saves time, and you can keep hustling. So, again, but raising your value by raising your skill level and by elevating your brand is the answer. That is it. So I literally have now given you the secret. Okay? So, like, that's what I have for you. And if that doesn't get you in the game, I don't know what will. Because again, I just ranted in a live stream for an hour without meaning to. I literally meant for this to be 5 to 10 minutes. I literally meant for this to be 5 to 10 minutes. So that's what it comes down to. Value produces value. There's nothing more simpler in the world. So again, that's it, guys. My phone's about to die. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for those of you who tuned in for a whole hour of me raging like a lunatic. Thank you for everybody who was participating and chatting it up with each other. And I'm so sorry that you may not feel like I acknowledged you in the live chat. I just literally had to get this out. And I hope that this is the thing that makes the difference for you in 2018. I don't know that it is. I don't know what else I need to do. I will figure it out. I will figure it out. If it's 1,000 more videos, then it's 1,000 more videos. If I have to create more systems and products, then it's that.